Welcome to this explainer. Okay, so today we are looking at something that is fundamentally rewiring how the internet actually operates. Because right now there is this massive, rapid shift happening all across digital infrastructure. We're accelerating straight toward high-performance, decentralized Web 4 architectures. But, well, here's the major challenge engineers are running into. How do you actually monitor these wildly complex, decentralized systems? I mean, when you remove the central server, tracking what goes wrong and exactly when it goes wrong becomes a really serious hurdle. So today, we're breaking down a major milestone in solving that exact problem: Linkspreed UID version 2.6. Here's a quick look at our roadmap for today. We're going to start with Web 4 identity, define what Linkspreed UID actually is, unpack the v2.6 tracking breakthrough, take a peek inside the analytics dashboard, and then wrap things up with the zero-mock philosophy. All right, Section 1, welcome to Web 4 identity, shifting away from centralized silos. Moving right along to Section 2, what is Linkspreed UUID? The core foundation? We are literally watching the foundation of the web change in real time, right? It's moving power away from centralized big tech databases and distributing it directly back to the users. So let me just ask you directly, what exactly is Linkspreed's UIUD? Because honestly, whether you're a backend developer architecting these massive systems or just, an everyday user who actually cares about your digital privacy, the stakes of this framework impact absolutely all of us. Let's look at the actual definition. UIID stands for Universal Integrated Identity. It was developed by Linkspreed as a huge part of their Web 4 initiative, and basically it's a self-sovereign identity framework. The absolute crucial philosophical shift here is returning data ownership directly to you, the user. Instead of logging into some massive centralized silo owned by a tech giant where, let's face it, they hold all the keys, UIID dismantles that silo entirely and puts you firmly in control. So UIID is built on three main pillars. First up is decentralized authentication. This basically means there's no giant central database of passwords just sitting there waiting to be hacked. Second is privacy by design, which utilizes something called zero-knowledge proofs, or ZKPs. Think of this like a bouncer at a club verifying you're over 21 without ever actually seeing your birth date or address on your ID. It's this incredible tech that allows the system to verify your attributes without revealing your underlying sensitive data. And third, interoperability. This is the standard that lets you seamlessly carry your verified identity across multiple platforms without skipping a beat. Okay, Section 3, the v2.6 tracking breakthrough, moving to surgical precision. Now, before we go any further, I really want to be clear about something. This pivot to version 2.6, it isn't just a standard patch or some minor bug fix. No, this is a forensic-level upgrade in diagnostic power. We are talking about capturing micro-latencies in pure nanoseconds. Just let that sink in for a second. In these high-frequency digital environments, measuring in milliseconds is simply way too slow to find the root cause of a bottleneck. UID v2.6 logs every single developer-originated request with nanosecond precision. And why does this level of sheer speed matter? Well, because when you're executing incredibly complex cryptographic handshakes or deep database lookups, a tiny, microscopic delay can easily cascade into a total system failure. Nanosecond tracking allows engineers to catch these micro-latencies instantly, making sure UID remains the absolute fastest identity solution on the market. You see, before this update, developers had to rely on basic system logs. You basically get a simple, incredibly unhelpful success or failure message. And honestly, as any developer will tell you, there is literally nothing more infuriating than getting a generic failure message at 2 a.m. when you are desperately trying to fix a complex problem. Version 2.6 completely replaces that with deep insights. We're talking granular API tracking that gives you detailed status codes. So now, if something breaks, developers can instantly debug integration errors, which are your 4xx codes, or server-side exceptions, the 5xx codes. Actually, it completely takes the guesswork out of the equation. But wait, it goes way beyond just speed and debugging. This is also about massive security upgrades. Because, as we all know, transparency is kind of the ultimate enemy of security threats. Every single request is now mapped all the way back to its source IP address through forensic IP attribution. This completely strips away the anonymity that malicious traffic relies on. It lets system administrators easily distinguish between legitimate, high-volume developer traffic and dangerous DDoS or brute force attacks. It's a real game changer. Section 4. Inside the analytics dashboard, total lifecycle visibility. So all of this raw data feeds directly into a beautifully revamped admin analytics dashboard to build a truly professional-grade workspace. Step 1 here is real-time monitoring. Admins don't have to sit around waiting for some end-of-day report anymore. They can actually watch latency spikes as they are happening, live. Step 2 is developer key correlation. This allows the system to track the performance and usage patterns of specific API keys. If one integration happens to be hogging the system, admins can manage rate limiting and resource allocation flawlessly, just to keep the whole ecosystem running smoothly. And finally, Section 5, the Zero Mock Philosophy, built with technical integrity. So the Linkspreed engineering team operates on a very strict mandate. According to their official release notes, following the zero mock policy, every feature in UIID v2.6 is fully functional and production ready. There are absolutely zero placeholder systems here. The nanosecond tracking, the IP attribution, the whole shebang is all integrated directly into the core kernel of the identity framework. It's literally built for professional-grade reliability from day one. If you're wondering why Linkspreed UIID v2.6 is cementing itself as the infrastructure of choice for developers right now, it really comes down to these 4 major leaps forward. Precision, capturing API calls down to the nanosecond. Security, mandatory IP attribution to weed out the bad actors. Diagnostics, comprehensive status code logging so developers can troubleshoot rapidly. And analytics, the new UI that turns traffic and latency trends into genuinely actionable visual data. It's just a complete end-to-end upgrade. I want to leave you with one final kind of provocative thought here. Linkspreed has just given system administrators incredible forensic-level visibility into network traffic with v2.6. Yet, the entire foundation of UID is built on zero-knowledge proofs and absolute user privacy. So as we continue to build out this decentralized Web 4 landscape, how on earth will we continue to perfectly balance that demand for absolute, uncompromised user privacy with the very real need for this kind of forensic-level observability? It is such a fascinating tension, and watching how these frameworks evolve to solve it is going to be absolutely incredible. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer today. Keep learning, and I will see you next time.